Hi, this is Peter Jekyll from TurnOnDynamics, and again I'm talking about all things Microsoft Dynamics AX to D365 upgrades. What I want to talk to you about today is your expectations on how Microsoft is going to participate in this upgrade, because a lot of people expect that there's going to be a tremendous amount of help in that process from Microsoft. So let's talk about the reality here. The first thing is your upgrade is going to be completely monitored by a system called LCS, Lifecycle Services. Now, the way it's going to be pitched is similar to if you have Office D365 and you're an Office administrator. You can go into Office Administration tool, add, change, delete users. Now, LCS, the analogy to that is very similar, but completely different. To learn LCS, you do not want to undertake that task. You want to have somebody that knows how to navigate through LCS because it's a complex tool, and if you do not know specifically how to use it in context of an upgrade project, you can spend a lot of time, a lot of wasted time in LCS. One of the side benefits of this, out of LCS controls environments. So your production environment, your test environment, et cetera. Most people run multiple environments. Those are spun up using LCS. Now, those folks that are used to working in AX, environments is a very simple task that their internal resources or their consulting resources were able to work with and deal with very efficiently and very quickly. When it comes to environments in LCS, these are controlled by Microsoft. And what Microsoft will do is they'll give you time frames on how quickly these are spun up for you. It is our experience in the real world that oftentimes these environments and how they're processed by Microsoft, what they tell you how long it's going to take and how long it actually happens can differ dramatically. So if you don't understand this topic here, if you don't understand that potential lapse, you may be planning a project with a certain duration and a certain amount of time to do certain tasks regarding environments within that project, and you completely blow that project plan because you're no longer in control. The next big thing is the 150 user threshold. This is really a magic number. If you have 150 plus users in AX and are upgrading to D365, if you have 150 or more users in AX and are upgrading to D365, what you get is an internal Microsoft engineering resource to help you with that process. Critical. If you're less than 150 users, lots of folks that we know, what you're allowed to do is access a library of information. Let me repeat that. You're able to access a library of information, okay? So what you're doing is, to a large extent, you're on your own looking stuff up. These upgrades, they're new, they're constantly changing. So the dramatic difference between 150 and below, we cannot state enough how dramatic those two are. Now, if you're under 150 and you want Microsoft help, we had a customer recently that decided to purchase that help, and that was the price tag on getting that user help. And so that's a significant piece to add to your budget when you're planning your upgrade and you're below 150 users. The last thing that I want to talk about here is we're used to talking in our AX environments and working with our SQL database. In the D365 cloud world, we're dealing with Azure. So Azure, for non-technical folks, is kind of that equivalent to the SQL database. What's interesting here is the amount of technical skill required to work in Azure outside of your lifecycle services system. This shocked us. And we would go out and we would find the best and brightest Azure talent that we had to help us. And one of the things that we found is that the first question they asked us is, what is D365? So the talent of Azure technical folks that can help you with this and their ability to work with D365 currently does not exist. So this is a critical element that you have to be aware of. So the last thing I want to mention is that When you're below this 150 users, oftentimes you fall into what I've termed that you are an AX SMB. And what I want to do is I want to talk more about what this means and what that means to you for an upgrade. If you have a question on any of these topics, or you're in the middle of an upgrade and need help with any of these, please give us a call.